Welcome back to Joe's Kitchen, and today we're going to make gumbo. Now, one of the secrets to making gumbo is have everything prepared before you get started. That way when you start your roux, you can focus on that and get it right, because that's the most important thing to getting a good gumbo. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with making some rice. And I've got 4 cups of rice here, and you want to rinse your rice really well. We've already rinsed this a couple of times, but we'll do it one more time. And the reason you want to rinse your rice so good is to get all the loose starch off of it, so it's not fluffy when you're done. So you have nice, clean grains of rice. And we're going to cook this rice in a rice cooker, which makes cooking rice so much easier than trying to do it in a pan. Because in a rice cooker, all you have to do is add your rice and the proper amount of water and put it on, and it'll turn off when it's ready. Also, most rice cookers will keep your rice warm after it's cooked. So we've got 4 cups of rice. We're going to add 6 cups of water. Put this in our rice cooker. We've already started prepping some of our vegetables. The green peppers, we've got green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, and some onion in here. We've already started them cleaned up and ready. And then we also here have some celery. As you can tell, chopping up all the vegetables that we're going to have to chop today will take a little bit of time. So what we're going to do now is go to a more modern technique, and we're going to use the food processor, because we've got a lot of vegetables to chop and we need to get it done quick. So we're going to add some more, a few more peppers, and this is a whole lot faster than doing it by hand. So now we have our peppers chopped, and we will do our onions and our celery next. Okay, here we have some of our final ingredients. We have the okra sliced. We have our chopped canned tomatoes in their juice, and this is our stock, and it's a seafood stock with a fish and shrimp stock. So here we have 2 tablespoons of filet gumbo, or gumbo filet. And we have a tablespoon of white pepper, have a tablespoon of Tabasco sauce, and have 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. And we also have our 3 bay leaves. This is some postal kielbasa we've already fried up. And this is some crab that we've pulled and picked through. This is our shrimp that's already peeled and deveined. Over here we have our crawfish tails. And this is 2 chicken breasts that I grilled earlier today. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make our roux. And all a roux is equal parts of liquid oil and an all-purpose flour. And you just stir it and stir it and stir it on low heat until you get to the color you want. Roux are really good for thickening up gravies, making soups and stocks. A lot of times I'll make a lot more roux than I need and freeze it in the freezer in little ice cubes. And if I'm making a soup or a gravy and it needs a little thickener, a roux is a great, tasty way to add thickness to anything you're making. So here we're going to go ahead and start making our roux. We're going to pour our oil in, and that's a cup of olive oil. Get our heat going. That was exciting. Let that warm up just a little bit. And when you're making a roux or anything like this, you want a really heavy pot. This is a cast iron pot that will warm up slowly and dissipate the heat all through the bottom of the pot. And they're really good for cooking stews and soups, making roux, because they heat up well all over and they hold heat really well. Okay, we've been cooking on our roux about 10 minutes. As you can tell, it's starting to turn into a, we'll call it a dark blonde, light chocolate color. It will need to cook about probably 5 to 10 more minutes. Once it starts turning, it really does turn pretty quick. We have it on a medium heat, because if you turn it up too hot, it will burn and stick. So all we gotta do is just keep stirring for another few minutes, and we'll have our dark chocolate roux and be ready to start adding our ingredients. Okay, now that our roux got to be a dark chocolate colored, we added our trinity, which is our peppers and our celery and our onions. So we're going to let that cook down a little bit. We've turned our heat way down nice and low to keep it from sticking. Now I'm going to add the garlic. Stir it as we do it. Let it get fragrant. By fragrant, I mean you're going to be able to smell when these vegetables start softening up. They're going to release their scent, and you're going to be able to smell when this is ready for you to start adding your protein and your seasonings. It doesn't take long. We're going to go ahead and add our seasonings now. Bay leaf, pepper, and filet powder, and a little bit of Tabasco. Now when this cooks down a little bit, you're going to be able to adjust your heat. And you're going to be able to adjust the saltiness of it. Just keep stirring all this in. One secret to using bay leaves is keep a count of how many you add to a dish. That way you'll know how many to take out when you're done, because you don't want to leave bay leaves in the finished dish. You sure don't want somebody to get a big old mouthful of bay leaf. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. Let this cook just another minute or two. Keep scraping down our sides. If you notice, I always keep stirring it around because we don't want it to stick. With this roux in there, it will stick a little bit if you're not careful. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add our stock to it. Stir that in. Yeah, maybe turn our heat up just a little bit now so we can get the stock warmed up. Let that get going good. Again, start our sides. We'll go ahead and put our okra in here so that it gets going. You can't have a good gumbo without some okra. Alright, we've got our stock added in here, and now we're going to add our tomatoes. I've got it getting warm, and we're going to let this just simmer for a few minutes. Let our flavors blend together, and then we're going to add in our shrimp and our chicken and our crawfish tails and our sausage, and let that cook for just a few minutes, simmer down a little bit, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, we have let our gumbo simmer for about 15 minutes, and it's nice and warm. And now the only raw meat that we have is shrimp. So we're going to add our shrimp in right now and let it go ahead and start cooking. We're back up to heat, and so now we're going to add our crawfish tails, which are already cooked and just need to be warmed up a little bit. As you can tell, we're about at the limit of what our pot can hold. And now we're going to add our sausage. Nice and slowly. And now we're going to add our chicken. Nice and slowly, because we are about to the limit of our pot. And the last little bit of protein we'll add is the crab. Crab is already cooked. It's very tender. If you overcook it, it can turn a little tough. So we'll add that right now. And let this simmer just a little bit more. And then we'll get our rice out, and we'll be ready to eat in just a little bit. Okay, here's our rice, just right out of the rice cooker, nice and hot and steamy. You can see the grains are pretty well broken up. Okay, so our gumbo is done, and we are going to fix this a little rice, put a little rice in our bowls, and have a little gumbo. And I would like y'all to meet my family, or part of my family. This is my wife, Kelly, who's my sous chef and sponsor. She's our main sponsor right now. We'd like to thank our sponsors. And these are my two of my daughters. This is Ellie, and this is Gabby. And this is the first time these two have ever had gumbo. So we're going to see how they like it.
Yum, yum.
Thanks. All right. Well, girls, what do y'all think about your first cup of gumbo?
Good.
Is it good, Gabby?
Good.
Good, good. Well, the good thing about cooking is getting your friends and family together to enjoy what you've done. And that's what we're doing here tonight, is spend a little quality time with our family.